EggTV. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, look, these
Yeah.
guys are super dear buddies of mine.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
When did you
yeah,
first
I know
meet them?
Like, I met them in 1989, the first time Sonic Youth played in Auckland. But Michael Morley and I had been corresponding before then, and he in particular, he and I are really super tight. We share, you know, we're both visual artists and musicians and family men and all that kind of stuff. So we are dear buddies from a long time ago, and he's come to New York and stayed with us a couple times, and I still have not gotten to Dunedin. Supported us almost every time we've played in New Zealand, and we've played shows with them in Europe and in the States, and he and I just played a trio show with another guy in New York about I don't know, it must have been about a year ago now, for some sort of festival that was going on in New York. Yes, I love those guys. I have seen them play so many times, and I've never been less than astounded by what they do. It's like I've never seen a bad show. It's just, they're just so incredible, and I really love what all three of them do, what Bruce does with the guitar, and what Robbie, you know, the kind of drummer Robbie is. It's just like they're one of my favorite bands in the whole world.
Do you run your stuff by your family?
Yeah, they hear it. You know, they hear it. They appreciate it. They've been, you know, I've been doing it for so long that they were kind of dumbfounded at first, and then kind of learned to appreciate it.
What about your parents?
Yeah, them too. You know, I mean, in the early days when I was playing with Glenn Branca's orchestra, I remember my mom and father and a couple aunts came to see us play, and you know, it was insanely loud, like insanely loud. And finally, like, everybody got driven out of the room except for my dad, who stayed in the room the whole time and like watched the performance and was just kind of like fascinated by the fact that it actually something like that existed. Once Sonic Youth started, like, you know, getting reviewed and started traveling the world, like, you know, coming here and going to Japan, I mean, they realized something was happening, and it wasn't just a goofy thing, you know. So well, my mom was a pianist, so there was always music in my house since I was a little kid. I mean, she was a piano player. So
Did you grow up in New York?
I grew up on Long Island, about an hour out of New York City. You know, a little suburb by the sea kind of thing, a little beach community, fishing community. Antipodean or Antipodes, right?
Antipodes, yeah. Well, I think the antipode is like...
I think the Dead Sea actually taught me that word.
Oh, really?
They said Antipodes. Maybe that's a New Zealand thing.
Probably.
We've eaten some good food. You know, I don't know really what typical Australian food is. All I know is whenever I come here, that Australia has the best coffee anywhere. It's just like the coffee here is awesome. And so we've been drinking a lot of good coffee, and we've had some good meals while we were here. You know,
it's hard on holiday to find, unless you watch like Anthony Bourdain and get like all the tips.
Yeah, exactly. We're heading off into the bush for 4 or 5 days after this. We've got a camper van lined up and everything. And relaxation, well, one of my main things is cycling. I'm a big cyclist, and I've got a road bike at home, and I just take off on long rides, and that's one of my most favorite things to do in that regard, like as far as relaxation. But you know, I don't know, you know, I mean, just walking around cities, walking around New York is to me very relaxing, you know, popping into bookstores and record stores and things like that. But yeah, I like to cycle when I can. When I have free time, that's kind of one of the main things that I do.
It's like, oh, it's actually nice to just like start the day walking. And
yeah, well,
just,
it's
like,
different than New York, because New York is a total walking city, and we don't even own a car in New York, and you walk everywhere, or you take the subway, or you know, it's just so easy.
Yeah, right.
So easy to exist there without a car. Well, I mean, I live all the way downtown. I live in Lower Manhattan, and I think that's my favorite part of New York. I've lived there for a really long time, and you know, my studio and Sonic Youth Studio is in Hoboken, across the river in New Jersey, and I've got a lot of friends who live in Brooklyn these days, in different parts of Brooklyn, and you know, there's so many cool parts of New York, but downtown is the most. In a way, it's the most family-friendly, and it's the most. I don't know. It's just the most relaxed in a certain way. It's pretty fast-paced in a certain way. You have to really fight to chill out there, you know. So that's why cycling is one of those things. We've got a path along the river that's like 10 or 12 miles long, and so I'll ride along that path.